Welcome back. Cruise is all finished and we're off to Lancashire. We spent a night in the parade car park in Brecon before heading up to Lancashire for a week in our son's house in Blackburn. Our first day trip was to Chorley. A lot of people said Chorley was not that nice, but to be honest, we found it really quite nice. We had some fantastic food in the market before we went off to our final destination in Chorley, and the reason for going, Chorley bottle gas. Cheapest 907 camping gas cylinders in the country, so I believe. To be honest, the whole of the time we were in Blackburn, the weather was not wonderful, but we did manage to get out to Calf Hay Reservoir for a walk, which was really quite pretty. This was day 55 of our attempt to try and be 180 days away in 2025. I'm not sure we can actually manage it. Nice walk. Day 56 dawned dry, so we decided to take a walk up to Darwen Tower. Darwen Tower was built in 1898 to celebrate the Diamond Jubilee of Queen Victoria. It also commemorated the victory of local people for the right to access the surrounding moors. It's 25 metres tall, or 85 feet in old money. We've never managed to get inside the Darwen Tower and walk up to the top because it's always been shut, but this time we did. Boy, was it windy.
So that's really quite sharp.
Well, hello everybody, welcome back. We're back from the cruise, which is the last video that you probably have watched, which is quite interesting because at the moment I haven't actually created that video. And we're parked up here in...
And if you haven't watched it, why not?
And if you haven't watched it, even though I haven't made it yet, why not? We're parked up in Settle for the night. We're going tomorrow on the Settle to Carlisle railway line to go over the Riddles Head viaduct. We've been for a week in Blackburn, which is not a normal tourist spot, but it's been half term, so we thought best to stay, visiting family, best to stay out of campsites and tourist places when it's half term. So we're
miserable at heart.
We're not miserable at heart, and we will see you tomorrow when we're on the train.
We're going to lose that black thing.
I will move it in a second. But anyway, before we go on the train tomorrow, we're having spaghetti bolognese and some garlic bread again. We seem to like garlic bread in the van. Any other thoughts, Mrs. Bird? Our idea of seeing the Ribblehead Viaduct from the train to Appleby was a good idea in principle, but to be honest, the view you get from the train is rather underwhelming. The journey itself is very nice through some very pretty countryside, but you don't see an awful lot of the viaduct.
I thought Appleby was very pretty, especially on a sunny day. It was preparing for the annual horse fair. We were there on a Monday or Tuesday, I think. The horse fair began on the weekend. And I had the best lentil pasty pie from the butcher's. Even went back for a second one, but they'd sold out. Then it was home for a cup of tea and probably a piece of cake. Lovely.
We've come here to Ribblehead Viaduct. What is it, the fourth? 3rd of June, and it's a little bit chilly and a little bit blowy. Welcome to summer in Yorkshire.
I'm not a great follower of trains, but I've always known about the Settle to Carlisle line, or Leeds to Carlisle. I suppose known about it by those wonderful steam engines that used to puff along, and still do on certain days. But we were in the area, so we decided to take a ride on the diesel train that runs from Leeds to Carlisle yesterday, which was a wonderful journey. We went from Settle to Appleby, across the Dales with magnificent scenery, but you didn't get that iconic view of Ribblehead, which is why we've come here today on our route up to Scotland, and it hasn't disappointed. It's in June the 3rd, and I have walking boots, 2 pairs of socks, jeans or trousers, over trousers, and 3 or 4 tops, plus a puffer jacket, plus my raincoat, plus my hat in June. I'm wondering if I've got enough clothes for Scotland.
Construction began in 1869 on the Ribblehead Viaduct and finished in 1876. It took 2,300 men 7 years to build, and 100 of those men lost their lives. There's 18 arches, it's 400 metres long and 32 metres high above the valley at its highest point. And yes, we were lucky enough to see a train go across it. Back in the warmth of the van, we sped through the beautiful... Yes! That was the point when I had to go downstairs and help with the jam making. Anyway, back to the video. We crossed over the Queen's Ferry Bridge crossing to the other side and ended up in our final destination for the day in Dalgety Bay. We were in Dalgety for a home swap for a week. The first evening, we just had a little walk around the area and had found ourselves at the beach.
I always wanted to walk over the Forth Road Bridge, and day 62 gave us the opportunity to do that. It wasn't a particularly sunny day, but neither was it was raining. We parked under the rail bridge in North Queen's Ferry and made our way across the bridge. It's only open now to taxis and buses and walkers, so it made for a really nice scenic walk. And I've just noticed, no, I don't want it that way, I want it that way. I've just noticed that in the distance there's the Hilton Doubletree. So if you're thinking of staying somewhere unusual, especially those of you with preferential rates, that could be one to stay at. This narration is really quite hard. I think lots of people actually write it down, and I always try and ad lib. It's not very good really, is it? Anyway, those are some pictures of us and the bridges, and we hit upon some lovely gardens. So this is us in the gardens in South Queen's Ferry, and we came across a really beautiful mosaic that filled one whole wall, and we see it here. So it charts the history, shows the bridges, and the detail in it is quite incredible. Very pretty little gardens hidden away in South Queen's Ferry. Day 63 saw us taking a walk to Aberdour, past the sailing club, Dalgety By, and then on the coast path, very quickly, on reflection, via a shady route to Aberdour. We came across a small derelict church, and that church enabled visitors to look around, look at the views, which were pretty amazing. Also on the outside of the walls there was a very small stone-built building, and it was used by the grave watchers to thwart the attempts of the grave robbers, who would try and dig up the corpses from the grave and supply them to the medical profession, illegally I would presume, so that the medics could practice their skills and develop further knowledge. Aberdour was a very pretty small harbour. We decided to have our lunch, the picnic lunch, overlooking the bay before we started to make our way back. And we passed en route a really sweet little book box in the woodland.
Day 65 was a Saturday, so that could mean only one thing: Park Run. Dunfermline Park Run is held in Pittencrieff Park, 3 laps of Pittencrieff Park. Oh my goodness, was it hilly.
If you are in Edinburgh or Fife, then the Kelpies is a great day out, even on an overcast day. The giant horses' heads are impressive in daylight, and at night they are lit up, which gives them even more impact. There was the sound of a kestrel or similar bird of prey at intervals during our visit, and we discovered this was to dissuade pigeons and other birds from making the Kelpies their home. The site offers numerous pathways and cycleways to explore the surrounding area, and there is even a large spiral, but not many people chose to use it as I did, and the opportunity for a champion moment. Engineering cleverness is demonstrated at the Falkirk Wheel, which lifts boats from one level of the canal to the other. It's very impressive, lots of information about it, technical and otherwise, but we just stood and watched and marvelled at people's ingenuity, inventiveness, and overall brilliance. Once again, I'm ad-libbing. I haven't written anything down, so it could be a little bit awkward. Anyway, day 69 saw us at Loch Leven, which was a long walk, I can't remember how long, around the loch. It was really hot. We hadn't anticipated that. Oh, no lip gloss, but there we go. And we walked around. We stood over the hedges when they were tall. We looked in bird hides, we didn't see any birds. We looked at the heather and the flowers, which really was very pretty, and we walked. Oh, and this is me with my mozzie deterrent, which was reasonably effective because I didn't get bitten that much. And as you can see, I came for all weathers with my puffer jacket.
Well, that's it for part 1 of Lancashire and Scotland. Join us for part 2 when we visit Carnoustie, Dunnottar Castle, Banchory, Braemar, and some other place I can't read my writing. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We've got 59 subscribers at the moment. We'd love to get to 60.